Hi class, this is the third of 3 tutorials on stuff we've covered in class, but it's nice to be able to see it as in a tutorial and movie file so that you can stop and pause and recheck your notes and just or retake notes or just see what I was talking about in class again. So what we're going to talk about here is we're going to talk about clipping masks and just masks in general, which can be very, very helpful with so many elements in the images that we create as concept artists and designers. So let's open Photoshop here. Start with an image here that I created. It was a image I did in an effects company, Rhythm and Use, for a film, and it was concept art, and so just an island out in the Pacific. So here we are. I mean, there's many elements in here, but I flattened it here. So what first thing we'll do, let's talk about clipping mask. Let's open a layer here, and I'm going to do this very, very simply because I don't want to spend too much time on this. It's just the it's not about the drawing or anything like that. It's about the the tutorial. So see these trees right here. So I'm going to select some of these trees right here. So I'll copy those. Copy. Paste in place. Take that away. So now I've got these trees. Say I wanted to do anything with these trees. I wanted to manipulate them in some way or other. Or I wanted to paint over them, or whatever I wanted to do. And I don't want to paint outside the chosen area here. What I always do is I'll go here in my layers. I'll add another layer here. So I've got layer 2 above this layer. And I'll go to layer here, pull down to create clipping mask. So now this clipping mask, with this little arrow, it's saying I'm going to clip this. I'm clipping around here. So say, for example, for no apparent reason, I want to paint this, red. So I can paint it red within the chosen image. If I don't like that particular red, of course I can go, undo brush tool, or I can just turn it off. If you've gone many, many steps along and you're like, oh, you know what, I don't really like it, you can just turn it off. This kind of thing is really, really helpful in crowd scenes, for example, when you have someone, you pull some images of crowds from somewhere else and you're putting them in a city scene, and you just want to work on the lighting of the people. You don't want it to drift into anything else. You use a clipping mask and it'll just keep it tight on the subject matter that you're concentrating on. So we'll get rid of this. Let's delete this clipping mask. Another thing that we can do is use what's called layer mask. Reveal all. Just come down to layer mask, reveal all. And you can highlight one or the other of these. When you're dealing with the layer mask, you want to highlight the layer mask. So just click on the layer mask. You see this little extra frame that comes around it. You go to your brush here on your brush tool, in your tool palette here, make sure that it's on black. What we're talking about here is, say that we have, let's just duplicate this image. And I'm just going to change the color of here, of this. Just make it something ridiculous. Okay. There's the original color, there's the color. And I'll take my layer mask. Actually, well, I'm going to do the layer mask on this. Let's just get rid of this. I'll do the layer mask on this. So layer mask, reveal all. Click on the layer mask. Make sure you're on brush and the color's black, and that this is highlighted here. You can go in here and what it's doing is actually erasing. What I'm doing here is erasing it. So I just kind of erase this, and it's like, oh. You've done a bunch of steps, you know, you're tapping, and just erasing. Going back in history is like a nightmare. So, you know, you might have spent a heck of a lot of time on this, many actions here, you know. So, and you're like, okay, well, you know, for whatever reason, I like this, but I want to keep these trees here, the red color. So then you change this to white, you change your brush to white, and you can bring that back in. You're not actually painting the red, you're just painting the lost image back in. Now when you do this, if you look in the window here, go back to black, if I just erase this whole, see the image, the black is growing larger, because that's my mask. I'm erasing the mask and revealing what's underneath. So black is the whole and the white is the mask. So this kind of stuff is very helpful actually with skies and clouds, separating clouds, various other things. A lot of stuff with landscapes, and I'm just doing this quick, you know. I mean, of course, I would spend hours going in here and isolating all of this stuff, but it's and again, you can go back in here, erase back, and you can also mess with your transparency, just like you normally would with the brush, airbrush. You know, you can do all kinds of stuff with the coloring here, with the masks. So I suggest you really try that. We use that a lot in matte painting, masks and clipping masks. It just helps with the workflow, and you know, just gives you yet another layer of choices and skill set that can help you manipulate and represent your designs and ideas as clearly and concisely as possible.